Some people say that keeping your toys makes you a devoted collector. Some say that's just a sign that you need to grow up. I personally think they're both kind of right. But if there's anything I know, it's that everybody's is different. Whether it's Transformers, My Little Pony, DC, Marvel, or in my case, Godzilla, there is no such thing as an identical collection. I don't care if you have the same type of room, every toy I have, or have even positioned them in the exact same way I do with mine. Your collection is not in any way like mine. Well, seeing as how the new Godzilla movie was a hit, and I haven't seen it yet, I really want to get this out so I can hopefully view The King of the Monsters the same way I did before the story happened. It was in winter of 2013 in mid-December. My dad worked a lot and took many business trips all over the world. Some of these were to Asia, but it wasn't until 2013 when he finally got assigned to work in Tokyo for a couple of weeks. Now usually, when he went on trips like these, he would bring me back little models, trinkets, toys, or other treats. For example, if he went to Paris, he brought me and my mom models of the Eiffel Tower and Arc de Triomphe. When he went to Brazil, he brought us some soda made with real sugar and rare comic book toy knockoffs. So when he went to Japan, I was excited for him to return. What he got blew my mind. It was the giant swinging tail Godzilla from the unreleased 2014 toy line for the new movie. Apparently, one of the employees he worked with had some connections with the toy business in Japan, and my dad was able to pick me up one for a discounted price. It felt great to have one, and better to know he didn't have to spend a fortune to get me this. My mom got some models of Mount Fuji and the Tokyo Tower. I swear, it took me a whole week until I stopped thanking the crap out of my father for giving me this. I even took pictures of it and uploaded it to the Godzilla fan club on Facebook. The pics I took were labeled as leaked, and even got posted to other sci-fi and movie sites talking about the new film. I felt like a star. The new toy was pretty cool. One of the reasons was because I finally got a good look of Godzilla's face for the new movie. Me and my friends were only able to see a cloudy silhouette in the teaser trailer released earlier that month. He actually looked pretty cool, kind of like an alligator mixed with the Godzilla design from the Millennium series. The figure was so tall, it made my Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus look like one of my My Little Pony PVCs. I put it right in the center of my collection, on top of my wardrobe next to a 1970s cheap Godzilla figure, which was the first one I ever got. I put the Japanese flag in the hands of the old figure, so that it could be symbolic with the new 2014 Godzilla toy. The oldest and newest Godzillas put together. I like to do stuff with my collection. For the first few days, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It looked so perfect. It was definitely the cream of the crop. Not just for my Godzilla collection, but everything in my room. I used to think about leaving my room and daydreaming that all the toys came to life when nobody was watching, like in Toy Story. All my Pony PVCs, Transformers, DC, Marvel action figures, and Star Wars toys would all be very envious about the giant Godzilla figure stealing their thunder. I even once thought about Godzilla battling the Spinosaurus toy on my desk. I know it's odd and very dumb considering how I'm 18, but hey, it makes me happy. So nothing weird happened until about week 2. On a Wednesday, as I got up and got ready for school, I noticed that the giant Godzilla figure had one hand in his mouth, and his mouth was clamping down on his hand. I didn't remember altering Godzilla last night, and with the toy's articulation, he could even put his arms in his mouth. I looked at the toy and noticed that his neck was bent a little, and he had an elbow joint. I didn't remember any of this when he was out of the box, but I figured that maybe I had just missed it. After all, many of my Transformers Armada figures had special gimmicks and points of movement I didn't notice until I turned 17. I also thought that my mother had come in while I was asleep. It really annoys me that some people can't leave my stuff alone, since I'm very protective of my collections, but I was in a good mood that morning. The school day on that cold December morning was pretty normal until my history class. A student there had brought several medium-sized chocolate cakes to celebrate our good grades on the finals. This was our last day for history class at my college. We each got a slice, and since I am such a goofball in public, I decided not to use a fork and shoved the whole thing in my mouth with my hands. It got a lot of laughs from the class, but my joint turned to pain as I bit down on my finger by accident. The pain was severe but quick. I went back home and made sure to put that Godzilla toy back in its original position. The next thing I want to tell you may seem off topic, but once I get there, you'll see how the story got more bizarre. While I was surfing the internet, I noticed that Frozen was all the rage now. Great reviews, an instant box office hit, Let It Go had become the #1 song, so I decided to get my friend together and see it. We loved it, and it became one of my favorite animated movies ever. Which is why after we exited the mall theater, we went to the toy store to get ourselves a toy of one of the characters as a little token for seeing it. It's like when we saw and loved How to Train Your Dragon, so we both got a Toothless figure. However, this time, the one I wanted was an Elsa Barbie-like figure, which was out of stock, except for one in the back of the shelf, shrouded in darkness in the bottom right corner. I offered it to my friend, but it turns out his favorite was Olaf, and there were 3 plushies of him left. We both got our toys and called it a night. When I got home, I took Queen Elsa out of her packaging and put her on top of the vitrine I used to display my large dinosaur toys. Her blue dress and blonde hair looked good on top of the whole room, even if it wasn't fitting considering she was to the left of a roaring Spinosaurus. I finished my homework, went to bed, and when I woke up, I was shocked to see that Elsa was now hugging the Godzilla figure. She was leaning on Godzilla, with her arms sticking out in front of her in a straight position around Godzilla's stomach. The Godzilla figure also had his arms on top of Elsa's head, as if he was returning the hug. His elbow joints had also disappeared. I stormed out of my room and told my mother, politely, not to touch my figures and stay out of my room. She said she had never been in there, but I knew she would just say that because I was fairly gullible at times. But I confronted her and pointed out the fact that ghosts did put Elsa next to Godzilla. That's when I found out my mother was too short to reach the top of the vitrine, even when on her tippy toes. I felt like an ass as she walked out of my room frustrated, saying I still had a crap memory. As I looked at Elsa and Godzilla, I searched my mind for a plausible answer. Maybe Mom got a stool and was able to reach it, but then again she wasn't really good at hiding evidence and would have probably forgotten the stool or put it in a corner where I could see it. Dad did do stuff like this, and even then he slept like a baby until he got up at 4 a.m. I came to the conclusion that while I was doing my math, I was so tired and bored that I decided to display a crack ship right in front of my face, and I didn't remember it. That was the only thing I could think of. I put Elsa and Godzilla back to their original positions. That same night, I found out that the 2014 polar vortex would make temperatures in my area sink as low as 4 degrees. Shit.